Whoa! The ammo shortage fix might finally be here. If you caught our last video, you know that a Czech investment group recently snapped up some of the most well-known names in American ammunition: Federal, Remington, CCI, and Speer. Now that these legendary brands are being managed from offices in Prague instead of Pennsylvania, it makes you wonder, what's the plan for those of us who want to keep our ammo all American? The answer is straightforward. Support companies that are still making and shipping ammunition right here in the USA. In this video, we're highlighting 4 American outfits stepping up to fill the gap, boosting US production, and proving you don't need a European parent company to supply hunters, competitive shooters, and law enforcement. We'll show you one manufacturer producing precise sniper rounds with loop-holed brass and Berger bullets. Another is transforming an old Cold War bomber plant into a fully integrated ammo facility. The third one is minimizing distribution distances to lower prices in high-cost states. There's even an AR maker who just got into the 5.56 game. The American ammo industry isn't dwindling, it's just gaining momentum. Let's rewind to that Czech acquisition. When the deal was finalized, control over Federal, Remington, CCI, Speer, and a whole warehouse of Alliant powder formulas ended up with board members savoring espresso in Prague. Some folks were immediately skeptical, worried that decisions made from across the Atlantic might affect whether you can sight in your deer rifle this fall. Others thought, hey, maybe nothing much changes. But rather than wait around for back orders and shipping delays to prove us right, we decided to check out what American-made ammo is still on the rise, because the best solution to foreign dependency is increasing domestic production. And thankfully, we're seeing progress on several fronts. Capstone Precision Group. Let's start with Capstone Precision Group. If that name doesn't ring a bell, the brands under its umbrella absolutely will. Berger bullets have been a bench rest staple for decades. Lapua brass in those signature blue boxes is a go-to for serious handloaders. And Vihtavuori powders are renowned for consistency that reloaders worldwide swear by. What's new now? Capstone has brought all those elite components together in one facility and is now loading ammo in-house. Ammo that used to take an afternoon at the reloading bench to make. They're beginning with long-distance options like the 300 Norma Magnum, loaded with 245-grain long-range hybrid target bullets, and the 338 Norma Magnum, pushing a 300-grain open-tip match design. These aren't vanity loads. They're the same specs used by American Special Operations units. Every round is built with extreme consistency, using Vihtavuori powder batches that stay within single-digit velocity spread across tough climates. From there, Capstone narrows it down to practical service rifle loads in 223 Remington. They've developed a 73-grain boat tail for older one and 9-twist barrels, and a 77-grain open-tip option for faster twists. Showing up to a DCM match with factory ammo performing like a tuned hand load built with Lapua brass and match-grade bullets is a big win for shooters without a full reloading setup. And with primers still hard to come by, that kind of consistency off the shelf is more valuable than ever. Capstone also stepped into the hunting world, bringing their hybrid Ogive tech to bear in .430 caliber offerings, 2 for the classic .30-06 Springfield and 2 for the .300 Winchester Short Magnum. The top of the lineup features a 205-grain powerhouse designed for bull elk and big-bodied Midwest whitetails. These loads are designed to be magazine length friendly, meaning you don't have to adjust seating depth just to get them to work in your hunting rifle. That matters to the average sportsman who doesn't want a workbench full of dies just to chase minute groups. Capstone isn't just filling a gap. They're proving that elite-level match ammo can be crafted in America without importing every last part. And as their volume grows, it puts pressure on importers to compete on price. First Breach. Next up is First Breach, a relatively new player making serious waves. While Capstone is focused on precision, First Breach takes an industrial approach, reviving a Cold War site and transforming it into a full-scale ammunition factory. Jeffrey Lowe and his son Jordan could have set up shop anywhere, but they chose a 65-acre, decommissioned aircraft plant in Hagerstown, Maryland, the same facility that once produced A-10 Warthogs. They cleared out the old aerospace tools and installed modern cup presses, smelting stations, and swagging machines. Lead is melted and poured into wire on site, then shaped into bullets just steps away from where the brass gets its final trim. This kind of one-campus operation cuts weeks off the supply chain. Even their indoor range for velocity testing is built into a Cold War bunker originally designed to withstand a nuclear strike. For now, First Breach is focused on the basics: 55 and 62 grain loads in 223 and 556 NATO and 115 and 124 grain 9mm. Next up on their roadmap is the production of 308 Winchester and 762 by 39. But the real story here isn't just the calibers. It's that First Breach has earned federal approval to manufacture its own primers. Once that line goes live, they'll be one of just 2 private ammo producers in the U.S. with complete vertical control. That's a big deal, especially since primers have been the most fragile link in the ammo supply for years. Jordan Lowe, who served with the Golani Brigade under the Green Berets, made it clear he'd never rely on outside suppliers for anything mission critical. That mindset has already caught the attention of law enforcement agencies, some of which are switching to First Breach after seeing flawless function during full training rotations. They've got around 25 staff right now, but new tooling coming online should double that headcount by next summer. Sure, they're not the size of a legacy manufacturer just yet, but every primer tower and new die head adds another American-made link in a chain that no foreign boardroom can cut. Freedom Munitions. Let's now head northwest to Lewiston, Idaho, home turf for seasoned shooters, where the air itself carries the scent of burned powder from the legendary CCI and Speer lines. Nestled in that same firearms-rich town, you'll find Freedom Munitions, a company that used to run a split operation. Their bullets, marketed under the Extreme brand, came out of Carson City, Nevada, while case manufacturing and assembly happened in Idaho. That bi-coastal approach worked back when diesel was $3 a gallon and freight wasn't bottlenecked by shutdowns and shortages. But after the pandemic turned logistics into a game of Russian roulette, the leadership at Freedom decided to end the Nevada side of things. In late 2024, they moved key staff, shut down the Silver State facility, and expanded their Idaho footprint by 10,000 square feet. Now, bullet plating and brass case annealing are connected by a rail system, eliminating forklifts, semis, and all the headaches in between. Every operation, case drawing, projectile plating, and final assembly happens under one roof right in Lewiston. Freedom produces both new manufactured and reloaded ammunition on site, feeding their plated Extreme bullets into 9mm training rounds while also cranking out bottleneck rifle cartridges for hunters. The cost savings from ditching redundant logistics lets them invest in new tooling. That means longer head stamps for long-range cartridges, reaching past the 400-yard mark, will roll out throughout 2025. And while other companies chase investor approval with buzzwords like carbon neutral or diversity focused, Freedom stays grounded in one principle: volume. They're measuring success in cases per minute, not PowerPoint metrics. That scale of production doesn't just serve Idaho customers. It stocks shelves at LAX Ammunition in California, one of the few remaining retail chains that cater to law-abiding gun owners in a state with more red tape than range space. By consolidating their operations in Idaho, Freedom shields LAX's inventory from foreign boardroom drama or transatlantic shipping issues. That's how you keep ammo prices grounded and supply chains American. Bear Creek Arsenal. Now let's talk about the wild card, Bear Creek Arsenal. If you thought they were sticking to uppers and receivers, think again. This North Carolina outfit made a name for itself offering complete AR platforms for half what big brands charge. But they didn't stop at rifles. They've entered the ammunition scene, and in typical Bear Creek fashion, they're keeping things American-made and affordable. Out of their Sanford, North Carolina facility, Bear Creek now produces 556 NATO cartridges, loaded with 55-grain full-metal jacket boat tails. The same plant that mills M4 feed ramps now houses the presses that build the ammo feeding those rifles. Their quality control team checks barrel gas ports and velocity curves in the same shift, walking ammo samples straight to the chronograph. If a round underperforms, they catch it before it hits the box. They're not pitching this ammo for precision rifle matches or sniper schools. This is the fuel for fast-paced USPSA stages, defensive drills, and your regular Tuesday night steel league. For the cost of 3 boutique boxes, you can walk out with a case that'll last through a carbine class and still have money left for drinks. When panic buying spikes and shelves clear in a day, Bear Creek's output offers more than just savings. It offers stability. Every round that leaves Bear Creek means relying less on a foreign-owned factory, debating whether new regulations justify a delay. Here, the only green agenda is ensuring brass lands in American shooters' hands. The bigger picture. Sure, you can point out that Capstone's powder still comes from a Brazilian company, or that Idaho's electric grid might get sketchy during fire season, and you'd be right. There's no such thing as bulletproof redundancy. But what matters is where the profits land and who holds the reins. When you buy a box of Berger bullets from Capstone, that revenue supports an American worker. When First Breach melts Missouri lid and molds it in Maryland, that's domestic scrap getting a second life, not sent overseas for refining. Freedom Munitions now runs bullets 40 feet through a conveyor instead of 400 miles on a truck. And a Bear Creek rifle shipped yesterday might be back at a home range by the weekend, fed with locally loaded ammo. That tight loop doesn't just boost consistency, it also insulates the American shooting community from global shocks and policy changes. Capstone ballisticians are winning matches and enjoying drinks on the weekend. Jordan Lowe from First Breach is still signing off on military certifications with shrapnel scars on his hands. The Freedom crew in Idaho clocks out and hits steel along the Snake River after their shifts. Bear Creek teams test ammo on lunch breaks and live stream it for feedback. This is a grassroots culture that no overseas conglomerate can replicate. Look, the big message behind the Czech takeover of our legacy ammo brands isn't just that foreign ownership is bad. After all, Beretta's been making shotguns in Maryland for years, and they've never shortchanged duck hunters to supply Italy. The key, real issue is the alignment of incentives. Capstone earns when long-range shooters hit bullseyes. First Breach thrives when its primers light up every time. Freedom wins by shipping pallet loads without delays. Bear Creek lives or dies by keeping shooters stocked without breaking the bank. Over the next 12 months, keep an eye out. You'll see Berger and Lapua labels in hunting aisles. You'll spot First Breach head stamps at local two-gun matches. Freedom Munitions invoices will stack up at LAX counters. Bear Creek bulk boxes will roll out of pawn shops across the country. That's your cue. Cast your vote with your wallet. Throw a brick of First Breach 9mm in your range bag. Grab a box of Capstone 73 grain 223 for your match load. Put some Freedom hollow points through your carry gun. Ring some steel with Bear Creek's 55 grain 556. If they let you down, let them know. If they deliver well, now you're part of the rebirth. And that's a wrap for today. Have you tried any of these brands? Would you trust your everyday carry to one of them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button, share the video, and hit subscribe with notifications on. We've got more ammo updates coming your way. Stay sharp and stay American.